What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, Freddie Fox, America's Big Brother, and we back with another episode of the Saturday Night Sit Down. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab, Freddie Fox, America's Big Brother, and today I got the pleasure of sitting down with Jaleel. What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it, brother, man.
Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, like I tell everybody, man, I don't know if you got a chance to hear a few episodes and stuff, but my whole thing with this podcast is really trying to reach out to the young generation. You know, I've struggled, and I think many of us struggled in our way trying to find our way into adulthood, trying to find our way into being a man and stuff like that. And a lot of things is influences when we don't have that role model in our lives. Mm-hmm. So by speaking with gentlemen like yourself, you know, hopefully we can give some advice, some pointers, some tips, and maybe some sort of connection that we can relate to the younger generation to help get them on the right path and growing up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So as I always start this off, man, my very first question, everybody, and to you is, what do you think are some of the main qualities and characteristics that make up a good man or a good person?
Something I think is, some characteristics of a good man would definitely be, being able to handle your problems head on. Not deterring from things that may come up in life and backing into a corner and not feeling like you can't handle a situation. There's no situation that can't be handled, and as a man, I think being able to step up to the plate and just handle that as best as you can. You may have to reach out for people for help or ask the questions, but you as a man can take things into your own hand and get the job done. So I think handling your problems, setting goals for yourself and holding yourself accountable. I think that's another thing that is very big for. That's something that defines a man. So those are two things that I think are very important. You got to be able to write things down, go for your goals, and just make it happen for yourself, man, because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. So you got to be able to do it yourself.
No, definitely. I understand. I think one of the good points you said there, too, when you said is asking for help. Mm-hmm. I think we went into this thing when you mean like being a man means you have to do everything on your own.
Very
and
true.
And it's not necessarily the case. You got, like you said, you got to be willing to go out there and take the hits, take the punches, and go out there and stand up to all the problems that come in face. But there's nothing wrong with asking somebody for help.
Very true.
Everybody struggles. Everybody's going through something. Not everybody's life is perfect,
right.
And it's, I think it takes a real man to know when it's like, listen, I need some help and I need some help in accomplishing this problem, like facing this head on. And as men, we should all really join together, and I see a lot of people kind of like sitting back and watching their fellow brothers fail, what I mean? Like, and just liking to laugh or you know what I mean? Like poke fun or whatever, when they should just stand there with them. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things is that somebody said is a man will never forget somebody who helped him when he was at his lowest. Mm-hmm. And when you really at your lowest and somebody's there to back you up and say, what's up, man, I got you, and help you out, that's a bond that carries on for life. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
So also in parts, like I said, being a good man, again, person, like, of course, having those qualities and stuff like that, but also having strong morals in their lives. So what are some of your strongest morals, or some morals that you carry on yourself day to day?
Respect, man. Having respect for everybody, no matter what. Not feeling like you're bigger than somebody because of status or whatever it might be, man. I hang my hat on being a good person and respectful to anybody I come across. I'm a genuine guy, so I try and show that to anybody that I might meet. So I think that's huge, integrity, just being able to make the right decision when people aren't looking and doing the right thing, because somebody's always watching. The man upstairs has always got his eyes on you. So I think it's very important to be very, very true to yourself when people aren't around. You like I said, you doing things like how would I put this? I want to put this the right way. Just, I guess you can just reiterate on what I was saying. It's just being a truthful person and honesty. Just like, I think those are very true. Three things that I can say I really hang my hat on. Just being honest, respectful, and just having integrity, man. Because I think everything comes back. Karma is real, So you gotta do the right thing in the right moments and just make sure you're doing your part, because if not, it'll come back to you for sure. It'll definitely come back.
No, definitely. You know, it's funny that you mentioned karma because I'm actually listening to this audio book about karma, and by the name is Shad Guru.
Shad Guru.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'll send you the thing after this,
for
but
sure.
it is he goes and explain that karma is a lot more complex than we kind of put it out there, you know. And a lot of people keep it like that's the simplest things, like do good things and good things happen, do bad things and bad things happen. Which is funny. It's one of my favorite shows too. Is My Name Is Earl. I don't even have to take it down, man. But that show is all about karma, and it's really just like he says, he's just trying to do as much good things to right all the wrongs that he did in his life. So it's a very beautiful message in that show. But he says that too is that everything that we do has some sort of karma involved. You know, it's just karma is the way you live life, and that's kind of like one of those things that says that everything that you do in life has a repercussion to it. You know,
Reap
and
what you sow.
exactly. So
Yeah.
whatever you do, you know, that's what you're bringing onto yourself. So it's very important, like you said, it's just like honesty and integrity and respect. And when it comes to respect, I think that's a very big one. And I learned that from my mom too. Is that really we're all people at the end of the day. I don't care, you know, how much money you have in the bank, you know, what you're doing. At the end of the day, that box is the same.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
who are you once all that's gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that define? Is that defining you as a person? Because we all got to go the same way. So you know, when that time comes, you know, what you did on this earth is going to remain. So that's the most important thing, man.
no, definitely. I remember for myself, man, I worked at a cable vision for like 8 years. And I don't know, man. I guess now I actually really do know where it comes from because when my mom, she was going to night school, and I know I said this story a couple of times, but it carries on to me a lot for a lot of different things. But she was going to night school. My dad wasn't really supporting her to go or whatever reason and stuff. And the janitor at the school seen my mom crying one day. She kind of explained to her what's going on, and he said, "You know what? You go to class, do what you got to do, and I'll watch your kids for you while you're in class." You know, so I would just stay with the janitor, and we'd go clean up and all these things and stuff. And that really taught me the ultimate respect for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't know my mom. He didn't know me. He didn't know all of us like that. But he seen somebody struggling. They needed some help, and he just helped. You know, and that's what we should do. We see somebody struggle. We should just help. And back to working at Cablevision, one of my things too is like the you know, we had a cleaning crew, and I always get cool with the janitors. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. You know, I know they're people, and I have to show them the same amount of respect that I show the CEO of the company and everything like that. They all play their part. So it would aggravate me when I would see people leaving a mess in the cafeteria, just getting up and leaving, and I'm just like, really? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I would, if I made a mess and I bring something like, listen, can I get the broom and the mop? And I would clean up after myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not their job. They're not our maids. You know, and we got to treat them with their respect. Just because they're cleaning up don't make them less than anybody else.
Right.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I worked in the service and restaurant business, and being a server, I already had respect for people who was going out of their way doing something for you that you could do for yourself. I always had respect for people like that. So but now, working and actually seeing how it is for servers and stuff like that, go an extra mile and wipe, clean up after yourself. It's not that crazy to do that, man. And people don't understand, some people can be rude and nasty and just think that just because, like we were saying, status or whatever it might be, your money in your bank, you think that it makes you better than somebody, and it has nothing to do with it, man. So I definitely have respect for people like janitors and who take up those kind of jobs, because people try and look down on people like that when at the end of the day, they're doing what they got to do to handle their business. So
right, they're doing the dirty work. They're doing a job that nobody else want to do, you know. And to that too, like my wife, we go out to eat and stuff like that. And as we finish up our food, she stacks up all the plates nice and neat and stuff. So when the server come,
I'm the same
you can just
way.
pick it up and then leave, you know.
Yeah.
And that's respectful, man. People see that stuff, and it's common courtesy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's common courtesy. And it all depends on how you're raised and the people that you have in your life.
Very true.
And on that note too, it's about, like I said, the show is really for myself. Becoming a dad has been an amazing thing, man. It's a beautiful transformation. You start to really see things a whole lot different, because it's really not about you anymore. It's so much. It's so different. Like, you got people looking up to you. And I keep looking over because my daughter just sitting there and was just keeping me thumbs up. And I'm gonna bring her in a minute to do this song because she's been dying and about that. She's like, so supporters, man. Like my daughter, we go out places and she talks to everybody. That's my thing with them as far as morals is, is respect. You know, I make sure that she respects everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and then she's kind and courteous and loving to everyone. So she'll go out and have a conversation with anybody. And we'll go to the park and all these places. And she's like, hi, you know, my name is Nyla. And this is my dad. He's Freddie Fox. He makes T-shirts and he has a show and all that. And just so proud, you know.
Your
so
biggest fan.
Absolutely, man. And it's such a inspiring thing for myself to see that, you know what I mean, like how her eye lights up when I talk about my show, we're doing these things and stuff. So it's so important to me to have a great relationship with my kids and you know, I mean, be that strong role model, that strong dad. And that's like I said, it goes for the younger generation too, like not having that strong male role model in their life and all that stuff, or trying to look elsewhere. For you growing up, I mean, with your dad, what was your relationship with your dad like?
Oh man, my dad was very strict growing up, you know. But looking back on, I understand why, you know, because you see a lot of people that you grew up with, and they don't take the same path that you take, and you know, they're where they're at now. Maybe it may not equal out to where I am, but you know, I still, like I said, it's a respect thing. You know, you grow up with these people, but my dad, he always told me, he was like, listen, you gonna graduate from high school, and you probably never gonna see some of these people again. They're gonna be here 10, 12, 15 years later, they still gonna be doing the same thing. But like my dad, he showed me like the importance of being a hard worker. He kept me in sports. I was always playing sports, so I never really had a lot of free time to do anything outside of that. So it was baseball, basketball, football. I was always in it. So you know, just him being there and always being there. You know, I was very grateful for that. Looking back on it, because you know, a lot of kids, they didn't have that. You know, they didn't have a father figure that was around on a day-to-day basis, or somebody that was holding them accountable for the decisions and things that they did. And, you know, people used to pick on me because they knew, like my dad worked at the middle school that I went to. So he was like and everybody was like, oh, you scared, your dad gonna do this, he gonna do that to you. I'm like, I mean, yeah, you're right. But like looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, man, like my dad, you know, he really was big for me, man. I really appreciate everything he's done. You know, we older I got, we kind of butted heads a little bit, but you know, that was just the growing pains and growing up, becoming a young man, and everything like that. But you know, I got mad love for my father, man, and I appreciate everything he done. You know, like I said, that's a very, very strong guy to me, man. I really have a lot of respect for my dad. So
no, that's a beautiful thing, man. I've seen like recently, with Tom Brady, there was a little interview and they asked him. You already know where I'm going with that.
That joint make me teary-eyed.
You know. And they asked him who his hero was, and he said my dad, and he got so choked up, man. He couldn't even finish the question and stuff.
But it was powerful, just how he ended it. You know, just my dad, like that, like for him to just be able to say that, like that was the person in his life, that was his hero, like. A lot of people can't say that, you know, especially in our culture. You know, it's hard for a lot of young men to be able to say that their dad was somebody that they could look up to, because we know most cases, or a lot of cases, that you know, a lot of the father figures aren't around. So
right.
You know, I always say, you know, I'm very grateful that I had my dad my entire life, and you know, he's still here and we still communicate. You know, throughout the week, he get mad because I talk to my mom a little more than him. You know, but we always find a way to, you know, communicate. So
no, that's a beautiful thing too, and I understand it. So like me and my dad, we I always had him. I always say, man, I was blessed to have him at the house all the time. You know, and growing up, as I always say, like we didn't have like a strong, like I guess I watched so much TV, man, a lot of sitcoms and stuff. So I always just thought like my dad was supposed to be like an Uncle Phil, you know what I mean, like a Carl Winslow or something like that, you know, and that wasn't his style. But my dad really showed me a lot of things on how to be a man, you know, and how to do things. He just did things, and I learned off of his actions. And one of the biggest things that I think I take away from that, a lot of people don't know, because my dad don't get out a lot. He don't talk to people, but that I realized that he does that because he knows not everybody's worth his time. He's not going to spend time with people, you know, with the BS or, you know what I mean, like all that fakeness or whatever. Like, he's not about that.
True.
You know, so I've learned how to really pick and choose who I associate very carefully with watching him. Yeah. And all those things. So that was one of the things that he really taught me as far as growing up and really understanding that people may come and go in your life and stuff like that, but you know who the true people that are going to be there for you, and you keep those people close by, and you're giving your time, your energy, your love, your support, You know, even when you may be going through tough patches, you know what I mean? I know him and my mom used to get into really ugly fights and arguments and all these things. But the next morning, my dad had her coffee right on that nightstand for her when she woke up and dusted off her car for the snow and had it warmed up for her to get ready to go for work, regardless of whatever that situation was. You know, and I take that even more into my relationship with my wife. You know, we me and my wife are we are opposites, man. We really are. And I think that's one of the beautiful things why we connect and what I love about my kids because they get to see a whole spectrum of things.
Yeah.
And even though, like we said, we may butt heads or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's my wife. I don't care what happens. I'm going to love her, support her, be there, whatever. Like, that's who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so, and I've learned that from watching him. For you, what is something that you feel like you've learned a really powerful life lesson you took away from your dad?
Man, something that I've taken away from him. Just I guess the biggest thing is just holding myself accountable. You know, I think he always, you know, try to make sure that whenever I was doing something, I'm if I start something, you know, finish it. You know, sometimes I struggled with that. You know, when I was younger, you know, saying that I was going to do something or starting something and not really finishing it. So, you know, I try to, as I got older, I kind of really try to put focus on that and just whatever I'm going to do, you know, hold myself accountable to that and really just, you know, focus in and see it through because, you know, you don't want to be someone that's not a, you know, man. I want to be a man of my word at the end of the day. So,
right.
You know, I want to make sure that whatever I'm saying I'm going to do, I am going to do it. I'm not letting people down, who might be, you know, a part of that process. So I definitely want to hang my hat on that and make sure that I am, you know, saying whatever I'm saying I'm going to do, I'm going to make it happen. So,
and that's I think that's one of the very key things in our lives is I guess having that male role model is to really have somebody of authority of that male stature to hold you accountable. You know, because our moms, I love my mom, man. My mom was very strict, and actually it's kind of funny because it's a little bit backwards. You know, my dad. You know, even though like we didn't have that communication stuff like that, but my dad would lean in on my mom to kind of like give me a little bit more leeway. You know, my mom was very strict and kind of holding me accountable and stuff like that. And there was so many times that my mom would like wait till my dad wasn't home or that we were her alone so that she could hold me accountable for certain things because my dad would kind of like, yo, you know, leave my boy alone. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I didn't see that until I started getting older and stuff because I thought my dad just wasn't, you know, I don't know, like it was a weird relationship because he didn't really talk to me about those things until I got older and we really started having some heart-to-hearts and really some deep conversations. And that's when I started to see sides of my dad that I don't think anybody in my family knows. You know, I was blessed enough to say that me and my dad had some very powerful conversations one-on-one, late night here and there and stuff that I've seen sides of him that not my mom, my sister, my brother, anybody's really seen, and then that kind of really creates a beautiful relationship with me and my dad. And that's kind of like when I want to have a balanced relationship with my kids is, you know, really to, a lot of people says you shouldn't be friends with your kids, man, but, you know, I want to have a great bond with my kids. I want them to be able to come and talk to me about anything, you know, and I started that with my daughter, like, you know, if she's doing something wrong or whatever, or she knows I hate lies. I hate lies. And we've gotten to a point where she says, you know, Daddy, I need to tell you the truth. And when she comes to that, you know, I kind of push all those other feelings aside and say I need to listen to her like a friend, as a companion, because I want her to be able to come to me, you know, when things comes wrong or she does something wrong or maybe that's not right or whatever, and not feel like I'm going to unleash the, you know what I'm saying, the wrath of God on her.
Yeah, right.
You know, but also know that I will hold her accountable and tell her, you know, what you did was wrong or what was right and stuff like that to help correct her. And that's that kind of balance I'm trying to find, and it's tricky, man. There ain't no manual on how to be a good parent.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think it's one thing I've noticed, and you know, just from, you know, reading and just observation through life. I think, I'm not a parent yet, you know, but I see, looking back on my parents, that they're learning as they go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a process for them. So I think that makes sense because I'm the same way with my parents. As I got older, the relationships got, closer because you're able to have certain conversations. You're able to comprehend certain conversations that y'all are having a little bit more. And, you're both going through life at this point. You're both adults and you're going through life. They've been through certain parts already, and, they can also kind of give you some guidance on whatever it might be, or you can give them guidance in some way as well. So I think it makes sense because it's a growth thing. So throughout that process of parenting and childhood, you learn your children, you learn your parents as you get older, and you're able to build that relationship throughout the process. So and like it's just I think it's a cool perspective to look at it and see, how the relationships grow over the years. So
yeah, no, and it's very different as they grow and stuff. Because like you said, I mean, they're trying to figure it out too. Mm-hmm. And I said this time and time again too is even like when the day you have kids and you follow the exact same blueprint that your parents did with you, your child is going to be completely different. They're not going to be like you because they're a whole different person. You know what I mean? They're a unique individual, and they will react and respond to things totally different in their own unique way. So you constantly have to make adjustments as you go on and learn, as you do these things. And it doesn't get any easier, man, but it's a lot of fun, especially when you see, how they start to flourish and grow and stuff like that. Because it's a beautiful thing of seeing my daughter grow and be the unique little flower that she is, man. Yeah. So it's very tricky.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. One day, for sure. One day. Yeah,
man. Yeah. So now I'm gonna put on pause real quick. I'm gonna run outside and get it because, like I said, this whole week, man, since I'm doing the promo and stuff, and I played Drift Away and stuff, she was completely hooked, man. I mean, like straight vibing, you know what I mean? Straight vibing and stuff. And then she was so excited that I was gonna have you on my show.
Nice.
Let me get her in here real quick so she can. Come here, baby. So we got a special guest here. Come here, baby. Come here.
Shut the door.
Close the door, baby. Close the door. Come here, come around this way, baby.
Say hey to the camera.
Say hi to the camera right there. Say hi. Right there. Hi. Tell everybody your name.
Nyla Cortez.
Yeah.
Nyla Cortez.
And what's your favorite song right now, baby?
Drift Away, yeah.
Yeah, Drift Away. Yeah, and that's who sings it right there, Jaleel, all right? So we're going to do what I want you to do, right? I want you to say we're going to play Drift Away, and you're going to push the blue button, all right? Say we're going to play Drift Away.
Drift Away.
2020 was crazy, right? 2020 was crazy, right? I think we all deserve a getaway at this point. Yeah, we're going to get past all that, though. Said I just need to get away, yeah. Carolina road trip, they want to I rode with. Said I just need to drift away, yeah. Floating like a feather, hoping to go wherever. Look, Miami for a day trip, Cali or a spaceship. Tired of the west side, I need my best life. I just need to drift away, yeah. I need to drift away, yeah. Yo. I got these fears of not reaching my full potential. The process is a monster, I respect it like my kinfolk. I never doubt his promises, he's sticking by my side. Can't put my faith in man, cause I'll be bound to lose the fights. And I've been dishing out this love and it's so rare to get it back. Lot of frauds, a lot of lames in this new era, no cap. And yeah, they wanna see you up until you up and past their limit. Now they hating on your winners, wanna dip but didn't chip in. So I keep it moving like a star when it's shooting. Say my camera's always rolling, it's a low budget movie. I'm just a regular, average Joe, shooting high like catapult. In my lane I shall remain, I never change for status quo. I'm 20 years old and ain't no switching up now. I just amped it up a smidge and now they hearing my sound. I've been 100 since my mama told me back when I was chubby, used to call me ugly. They was bugging. I just need to get away, yeah. Carolina road trip, they want to I rode with. Said I just need to drift away, yeah. Floating like a feather, hoping to go wherever. Look, Miami for a day trip, Cali or a spaceship. Tired of the west side, I need my best life. I just need to drift away, yeah. I need to drift away, yeah. Look, dodging out.
So yeah, man, that's been the banger this whole week, man. Since I've been picking her up, cleaning men nonstop on rotate. So like I said, 75% of this week's views, you gotta thank that little lady right there.
I will. I love to hear it, man. Love to hear it.
But yo, man, it is a beautiful song, man. It
Thank you,
is
brother.
has such a chill, mellow vibe, man. It's so like uplifting, and it's just such a feel good things, man. There's a couple things in there, like I know you mentioned about the kinfolk, and also too, like I think like you've been targeting kind of like what I'm saying too, just these people trying to just the younger generation educating like, look, we need to grow up, we need to do all these things, we just need to find our path and stuff. So tell me a little bit how you came up with Drift Away and how that started, man.
Well, I wrote Drift Away when I was in quarantine, so I was sitting on Drift Away for like a whole year, like, and it was just in that situation, you stuck in quarantine, stuck in the house, can't go nowhere, can't do nothing. I'm just
Right,
like,
right.
I want to drift away, man. It's just how I kind of the first part of the song, was I need to get away, and then I was like, and then I need to drift away, and I kind of I put it all together. My writing process is interesting, just because it kind of takes me like a day or so or 2 days to kind of really think about everything I want to put into it, because it's hard for me to just it's not hard for me, it's just I have to put more thought into what I'm saying, because I don't get on the track and say anything, obviously, so it's a lot of the writing process is just a little more detailed and just a lot more thought put into it. So the writing part is really, it comes natural to me when it comes to like the verses. I can easily write a verse to something, so just coming up with that chorus, which I knew was going to be the best part of it. Once I kind of started singing it, I'm like, this sounds good, just the words that I used and how it all came together. So it was just the timing and just putting my life into the song. So at that current time, and it just worked out perfect. And I'm glad people accepted it for what it was, because I think it was needed, and it was perfect timing for when how it all came out. So.
And you can definitely tell, man, just listening to the lyrics, listening to the vibe and how it flows, man, that there's really a lot of thought put into it. And it's not, and I don't want to throw shade on these mumble rappers and all these things like that, man, but that's probably because I'm getting older and stuff, but I'm so into that storytelling, that whole thing, that's music is poetry to me. You know what I'm saying? It's got to flow, it's got to have meaning, you got to have passion to it, and I hear all that in this song, man, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's how I got into music. I wrote poetry before I actually started writing music, and I just kind of like transitioned and kind of started putting the words to a beat, to a melody, and I just kind of I enjoy that the process of hearing myself afterwards. So like sometimes after I record a song, I'll listen to it all day to see what I could do different or what I could add to it. It's just it's dope to be able to just hear yourself create something and actually put it out to people, and then be able to accept it and hear it and have an opinion on it. So it's really it's a dope process.
No, it is, and it's a beautiful thing. How did you get into this, man? Was it just somebody inspired you, or something that you always want to do? Or how did you fall into this whole music thing?
Well, I mean, I grew up singing in church. I always, when I got to college, I was always wanted to, I was the one singing on the bus, rapping on the bus, freestyling. We always had like ciphers here and there on away games when we was going.
The lunch table with the beat.
Yeah, when I remember when I was in high school, I had a couple of guys that we did a couple of songs together, like with one of the guy that played the piano at our church. He had a studio, and he let all like some of the younger guys and older guys come over and make a song, and we all made like a Christian hip hop song, like a little, and it was a good song, it was cool that we all got in there and did it, and I think that was part of the thing that kind of pushed me to kind of, I was musically inclined, I guess you could say, but I really didn't really start focusing on music till like 2015, 2016. Met a guy, because I'm a barber, I met a guy, he was a producer, he had a studio, made beats, recorded music, and I was like, yo, you mind if I come to your studio, make a couple songs? He was like, yeah, he was like, we can trade off, give me some haircuts for studio time. So shout out to my man Menace in Johnson City, Tennessee. But yeah, we made a few songs, and I was like, it came natural to me. So, just being able to write a song and piece it together, definitely a lot better now as a writer than when I first started. But I think some of the best songs that I wrote was when I first started, recording music. You said you like story songs. I got a song called Tina that I wrote, which is really, really dope story song. So I'm hoping to actually get that one out to the world. I've been sitting on that song for like 4 years. So like I haven't even put that one out. But it's a really dope song. So but yeah, man, I'm happy that I started doing the music and I'm still really, putting my foot on the gas and pressing on with it. So
No, definitely, man. I definitely keep up with it. Like I said, your whole thought process, just listen to the vibe, and if anything else is a little bit like Drift Away, man, I'm sure I'm gonna love it, man,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's just such a nice chill and just again storytelling and really meaningful music, man. I guess that's just the best way I could put it. Just
Yeah.
meaningful music. And I know you've been through it, like I said, I guess since 2015, something like that. You started and stuff. So far for you, man, what do you think has been your hardest part in your journey right now?
Definitely, like I was telling Dylan the other day, man, getting over the fear of what other people might think or people not accepting what you put out. It took me a long time to get past that battle, and honestly can say now that it doesn't faze me at all. Like you think about certain stuff sometimes. Well, I hope this person likes it, but at the end of the day, I know that there are people out there that are just not going to enjoy what you put out. They're not going to like it. They're not going to be a fan of it. But if it's something you enjoy doing, something you love, then who cares what they might think? So I'm just really just trying to focus on myself and putting my love first and whatever that might be. What if it's music? I'm a creator, man. Like I enjoy creating, and as a creator, you have to be okay with people not liking what you create. So it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. Inevitable. So it's just something that you just gotta kind of get past because I think not everybody's built to be able to be like, oh yeah, that don't bother me, because it bothers people sometimes when you might not be accepted or might not be liked, but it comes to a point where you just have to understand that that's just a part of life and you just have to roll with that. So
Yeah, no, I faced that myself too, man. I definitely love singing myself. I used to write. I got a couple songs out there, and I'm probably gonna really get back into it myself because my thing with that is too, man. I just let so many people or my fear of what people think paralyze me. And it wasn't until I guess really more into just having my own family and just really understanding too that. And also, I think social media has helped. You know what I mean? Like having my own family, social media and stuff. Because again, like you, when you're real to yourself and you attract those people to you. They'll find you.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be plenty of people out there that's just gonna hate you just for being you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they got nothing to do with you. It's them.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite quotes that I've been, since social media kind of popped off. It was like, your biggest hater is going to be somebody your biggest fan is going to be a stranger, somebody you never met.
Right.
And that's it's true because since I put out Drift Away, I get DMs from people all the time like, yo, just heard your song on YouTube, saw your video on YouTube, heard your song on Spotify, love your music, hope you got more stuff coming. So like it's dope. Like, people like take the time out of their day to reach out to you to tell you they love what you created and they want more. So I think that's dope in itself. So
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, what do you think has helped you get over that fear? What other people think? Has it been social media? How have you been able to focus or get over that hump?
Just understanding that we only got a certain amount of time in life, and if you're gonna keep letting what other people think set you back and not really chase what you want to do in life or go after the goals and dreams that you want, like we don't have much time in life, man. So you got to go for it and do it. We have goals and certain things we want to attain before we hit a certain point, and you only can get there if you start, if you do it and really commit to something. So that was one thing I just put time into perspective and just understanding that nothing's promised. Tomorrow's not promised. If you have something in you, don't die with anything in you. Like if you have something that you create and don't put it out. Like stop worrying about what somebody else might think and just go for it.
Because you never know, man. And that's what really eats at you is the what ifs. Those are really just detrimental because you can sit there and like you say, man, Tina, because I'm bringing that up now. You're on Tina, you know what I mean? Like you may sit on that for 4 years and that might be to take it out. I mean, the fire. You know what I mean?
You never know.
But you just gotta go out there. At least you know, like it says, if you put it out there and hit or miss, whatever it is, at least you know now. You could be at ease.
Yeah.
And a lot of people need to understand that too. That you just don't know what's gonna happen. Go out there and take your risk. But also, like you said too, like everybody has a timeline or puts a timeline, and I've learned, over these last couple of years and stuff, understanding that you're never late, you're never early, you're always on time for you.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things for me. I always felt like, oh, well, I'm too old to make music. I'm too old to do this. Like, but my mom, she sent me a post. She was like, it was a post of like some of the most successful artists, actors, and stuff who started late 20s, late 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, and their careers are at the high. They're very successful in what they do. So I used to think about that all the time, man. I'm like, oh, I'm too old to do music. This is for the young kids or whatever. But like, I knew I had something in me, and I'm just like, yo, I have to do this now, man, because I got to a point where I broke down, and I just act, why am I so scared to do this? Why am I keep telling myself I'm not good enough, or why am I so scared? And I really just was like, yo, just do it. Don't stop worrying about what people think and just go for what you want to do in life.
Yeah, no, definitely is. I seen that too, man, and I think the biggest one that stands out to me is Colonel Sanders, man. He was like 65, man, when he started KFC, man. 65 years old, and all those things happen, and I started seeing a lot of things too for myself, and I don't know if you ever read or heard of the book called The Secret.
I have. I've heard of the book. I watched a little Netflix series that they had on it, but I haven't really read the book. But I live my life based on after seeing the episode, the show. Like that's how I live my life that way, and it is dope. I want you to continue though what you was. What you were saying.
The show really it's book verbatim. So if you've seen the show, I mean you read the book.
Yeah.
But it's that, and I've learned so much as I've seen all these things is that I've been putting all those things into perspective and not even knowing it, and making all these things happen. This is just a quick one because I wanted two things, man. I wanted a Jeep Grand Cherokee so bad. My homegirl had one. We used to drive around all the time, and I was like, man, I love this car. And I would tell her let me drive it or whatever. And, everywhere we went to go, I was like, yeah, we got to be in your car, just to get that feeling. My mom got into a car accident, totaled her car. And I was cleaning pools, and I was like, man, like, I need to do something for my moms, you know what I mean? Like, I need to get my mom a car somehow. I know it was working, but I was listening to the radio station, it was 105, and they said, call it 105, you could get a chance to win a Chrysler 300. I was calling 105. Boom. So I was like, bet. So I go down to Major Road, my boy, and they had a key for everybody to try to turn on the car. And the guy right before me turned on the car. So I was like, damn, I couldn't get my mom this car, man. I couldn't get a son. And I was like, dang, but right before I left, it was like, everybody who had a key, you get $1,500 on the car right now. So I go to the back, sitting right there was a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I drove off the lot with that bad boy.
Wow.
And that was one of the things that I was like, I applied not even knowing it, and also, like, even my life with my kids, like, my daughter and my son, I planned them out.
Yeah.
Way before I was even married and all those things, but I was like, you know what? I want to have a girl first because I know the girls are just more, hands-on and loving and just natural caregivers and stuff. And, we definitely want to have a boy because my sister got 3 girls.
Yeah.
So my boy is it, you know what I mean? My brother has 2 boys, but he's in Puerto Rico and you know what I mean? But at least here is just me and my son. And that's because I envisioned that, I had that vision in my head.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everybody really needs to understand is that our minds are so powerful, man. Like, we really design our own lives. If we say that, like I said to myself, man, I'm going to have me a successful podcast.
Yeah.
I put that in my head and in my vision. I was like, I'm going to do this. And I was nervous at first because the same thing too, you're your own worst enemy. I'm down to myself. I'm like, man, is people gonna listen to me? Like, am I entertaining? Is this, that, or what is gonna be my topic? Or what, you know what I mean? And really trying to find myself until I got to the point I was like, I just gotta do this.
Yeah.
I just gotta do this and see what happens, and I've been blessed to be able to, and I think also part of that too is in yourself, like you said, holding yourself accountable and being there and putting in the work. Like I told myself, every Saturday, come hell or high water, if I have a guest, no guest, whatever, I'm putting out an episode. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way you're gonna be successful is consistency. Consistency is key, especially in this type of business.
Yeah.
And I've been so lucky again. I've been able to interview and Bobby Valentine. I got you here who's all over the radio stations right now and YouTube and stuff. Your videos are like what 56,000 views or something like that. You know what I mean? Last I checked, it's probably at 70. Next month.
You never know. She might have got me up there.
And I've been blessed to be able to sit down with people like you. And that's two things: is number one, really having that vision in my head and putting myself out there and not being afraid anymore, really being comfortable.
Yeah.
And just trying, man, just trying. Cause you never know what you're gonna accomplish if you don't try. You know what I mean?
Very true.
So what else for you? Like I said, I know like we're talking about the vision and stuff like that, and seeing yourself in this whole music thing. For you, where do you think you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never really. I don't like that question. Not no disrespect or anything like that. I just like I don't know if you heard of the artist Anderson .Paak. But he's the guy that has the song with Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak. But he said they asked me where I'll be in 5, but what about today? What about tonight? Like I kind of live my life like it's dope to think about what could happen in the future, but I'm taking one day at a time and just you never know where life can take you. I will say I write stuff down. I just want to be able to say that I'm still doing music in a capacity and inspiring people later down the road. But, I just want to, still continue to make an impact, hopefully somehow, some way doing that in the next 5 years. So, I don't want to put exactly what it might be because, you just never know where life could take you. So I have a lot of things I enjoy doing. I'm a talented dude. So I have some aspirations that are different from, the average person. Hopefully I always said I wanted to do acting in some point, some way. So it's just the creator in me, man. I think a lot of the things that I gravitate towards are so it's an art form, just being able to create and do that. That's it. Hopefully somehow, some way, I'll be doing something that puts an impact on people. So that's what I hope for, man.
No, definitely, man. I say that too, and I was listening to it was Matthew McConaughey's speech when they asked him, who's your hero? When he was like 15, he's like, I had to think about it, and he came back and he's like, my hero is me in 10 years. And then they said, okay, so when they came back from 25, it's like, well, here's your hero. Are you that person? He's like, not even close, man. My hero is me in 10 more years, me at 35. I always put myself 10 years ahead because I want to be chasing somebody. Having that aspiration, having that goal. I'm never going to attain it, but I'm always trying to improve to be better. I'm always striving to be better. I think that's I guess the simplest way to put it is that, we just want to be better tomorrow than we were today.
Yeah, very true.
And I guess that's why I say to myself too, Like I do want to, my ultimate goal, like I said to myself, man, I do eventually want to have, I guess, like the #1 podcast worldwide. Yeah. And I just got to keep striving and, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't happen, but I got something to chase.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a dream, I got a vision to chase down and that's worthwhile. Yeah. That's worthwhile. And then, especially like I said, looking at my little girl and just having somebody back there and support me and stuff is just really, really inspirational to me getting out there and achieving that. So, we'll see what happens with that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So as we wind it down here, man, I got 2 last questions for you, right? Okay. So, number 1, for you and yourself so far, right, in your life, what do you think has been the best advice you've ever received so far?
The best advice I've received. Trying to think, man. The best advice I received. I guess I could say, man, I had a teacher when I was in college, and basically, just telling me to believe in myself. We, like I said, we have so much capability within us that we don't know. We don't really understand a lot of times, but believing in yourself and understanding that, you can set up your future just by, like we said, writing stuff down or setting a goal and being being assertive and holding ourselves accountable to reach something, you can really make it happen. But just believing in yourself, man. Like, I think that's some of the best advice I've had, because like I struggled with that for a long time. So like, just being able to say that I'm past the point where I'm no longer like I'm no longer doubting myself or letting fear, hold me back. Like I'm believing in myself wholeheartedly, 100%, and being completely honest with myself when it comes to what I'm doing. I do genuinely believe in my music. I believe that there's a avenue for it, and I'm just happy to be able to say that I'm pursuing that, and nothing's gonna change that. So I think that's believing in myself, and whoever's listening and whoever will listen, just believe in yourself and chase whatever it is you want, man.
And that's huge. A lot of people need to understand that. And I always refer to this quote when people say that, man, I am a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And one of the things is because there's so many rich life lessons in that show. And one of them comes from like this episode, it's called The Tales of Ba Sing Se with General Iroh and stuff. And he was going through this town or whatever, and he gets mugged. He's some dude's trying to mug him, and he looks at him, he's like, your stance is all wrong. This is not your whole thing, and they have words of encouragement and stuff like that. And he tells him, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to be a masseuse. And he says, well, you'll be really great at that if you really tried. Mm-hmm. He says, man, wow, really? He says, although it's always good to believe in oneself, a little help from others goes a long way. And that's for myself too. Like, it was so hard for me to believe in myself because I let so many people on the outside world really kind of bring me down so much. And for me, that what also helps us in me is now that I have, doing some education and some really learning myself has helped me really have that confidence in myself, but also my wife and my kids. That's the extra help from somebody else that really pushes me, and seeing that my daughter's so supportive, my wife is extremely supportive in the show, and really, just constant words of encouragement, listening and pushing me and stuff. And at the end of the day, those are the people that I want to impress. Those are the people that I want to really, like what I do and be faithful. Of course, other people are going to come and gravitate to it, and I'm going to build that audience and stuff. But if I keep it there, I don't fill myself with all that negativity and all the what ifs, could ifs, what ifs, and stuff like that, and freeze myself in my tracks. And it's important, too, that everybody, if they learn from a very early age to really believe in yourself, understand the power that you have as a person, and just that little belief, you can do so much beautiful things. Because at one point, everybody in the world said we never gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? And the Wright brothers came along and built a plane.
Shout out North Carolina.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we used to say all these things about communication and vision, and these movies about like, we could use our watches to take pictures and video. It's here, and that all because one person made that their mission. Yeah. Said, I believe I'm going to be the one to do this. And they struggle and they push themselves. And while everybody else is laughing in their face, they keep pushing forward. And now they're like, oh, snap, I remember you when you were just starting. And that now everybody want to be cool with you when you're successful. They don't want to be with you through the grind. They want to share your success,
There's a song, I got this, it's an Afrobeat song, but I listen to it every now and then. But the lyrics, he's like, if you can love me now, don't love me later, cause me don't want no fake love when I'm counting my paper. It's like, I
gotta get that one. That song is fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things that also too, like my mom has inspired me with something is that she always told me, and I've been saying this a lot lately, but it's been holding more and more true with everybody I talk to, is that she says, I would rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. You know what I mean? And she really don't care. Like, my mom is just so blunt and just tells you how she feels, and just it is what it is. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, and that's it. You know what I mean? But at least she's like, you know what? Like, take me and leave me as I am.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to live that way and just understand, because the world is huge, man. There's so many people in this world that not everybody's going to hate you, but not everybody's going to love you either. So, you know what I mean? Like, just go out there and find the ones who do.
Exactly.
So, and my last question is, and like I said, this whole thing is for the younger generation, the people coming up behind us and stuff. What is some advice you would give to the younger generation, man?
create your own lane and be a leader. Don't like we see it every day. We see in media and music, and there's so many followers, and nobody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to do the same thing. Just be true to yourself, be genuine, and show respect to people, man. You never know. You don't want to burn bridges, and being respectful can take you so far in life. Like, I think, some of the younger generations, they're lacking some of that, the respect factor. I don't think it's as important to them as it was to like maybe me or you growing up and how it was instilled in us. And, I don't think all of them are like that, but, it's just one thing that's cool for them to, think they ain't got to show respect to the elderlies or people older than them or people who came before them. It's just, I can't stress it enough, man. Like I just, I would want any kid that's listening or any young person to just understand the importance of being respectful and having respect for yourself more than anything. You have respect for yourself and you can have respect for others as well. So I think that's one thing I would definitely, I would say to the younger generation.
Yeah, man, and the younger generation right now, I think, is stuck on one way of respect. Like, you respect me, but I don't gotta respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't work like that. It really don't work like that. That's why you got all this retaliation or there's just this violence going on because everybody's fighting for respect but not giving respect.
Mm-hmm.
And not helping each other out and stuff. And I started learning things is that me and you, we don't have the same goals in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So. And I don't gotta think of you as my enemy or as an obstacle in my way or anything like that. I look at everybody in this world as an asset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you've been through, what you will provide, but if I get to know you, if I get to respect, we get to talk and chill, you know what I'm saying, then there might be way I could leverage, you know what I'm saying, you and vice versa.
I always say, you can learn something from anybody. It could be what not to do, You can learn something from everybody, and just being able to have that respect to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody and hear out both sides, or whatever it might be, I think we as people, like, we can grow together so much if we just allow that time and energy just to be around people and have conversations and not be so standoffish at times, because I think a lot of times we can, as people, just because we don't know someone, we feel like we can't, have a conversation with them or even just, say, a simple greeting or anything like that. Just so I get it, man. It's a dog eat dog world, but I think, we can find some common ground within it. So
definitely, man. I don't know, it may sound cheesy, man, but I'm a very firm believer in love will change the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
True.
the only way
I
we
agree.
can get better.
I agree.
It's just
100%.
really loving each other and helping each other out and showing that respect. Because that goes back to, like I told you before, is that, when you help somebody and really in their time of need and genuinely help them, you get to see something that's unique. I mean, even little things, man, like just today, and I'm just like that, man. I love doing good for people.
Yeah.
It brings me so much joy, knowing I can help somebody out. And just like earlier today, me and my family were at the Oyster Festival out there. And I went over there because I'm going to shout him out real quick, too, to help out my boy Wilner and the $1 Million Smile Foundation over that he had. And I wanted to support him and cop a hoodie off for him. But I was there with my family, and I was in line waiting to get some lemonade. And there was his dad there with his three daughters. And they were looking and stuff. And then he was, just say what's going on and just spark a little conversation with him. I was like, you in line? Are you waiting for you? Like, I'm just trying to see if they just doing card or cash, because, it all depends. And he was like, oh, they're only doing cash. And he starts to walk away. And I was like, yeah, my man, I got you.
Yeah.
Just come over here. I got you. How many lemonades you need? You know what I'm saying? And just the look of astonishment, because people don't expect that, you know, and it's kind of, it hurts me because, you know what I'm saying, we should all be looking out for people and just trying to help out. He's there with his girls trying to have a good time. They just want some lemonade.
Yeah.
What biggest deal is that, and
what, $12, $18, whatever it might be?
Yeah, it was like $18 and stuff, and he was like, I'll cash app you, and he cash app me a little bit extra and stuff like that, but I really wasn't trying that, you know what I mean? It's just,
but one day when you need it, it's gonna come back, so you never know. You might lose a wallet or something, somebody, it'll come back to you. That karma is real. We talked about that, and good things come out. When you do good for others, it comes back to you. So I I think that was dope, man.
Yeah, no, and that's what I love, and that's the impression I want to teach my daughter and my son. You know, is just really be there for people, help people out and stuff, because you never know what's going to happen to you. And like you said that, just because it just made me think about a story real quick. When I was a little bit younger, I was at a grocery store with my mom, and I had the lanyard for my keys or whatever, and I was just swinging up and down the aisles and stuff. And this lady comes up, she's like, "Oh, that's so cool! Like, where'd you get that?" And I was like, you know, I got it with some clothes. It was just came with it and stuff. She's like, "Oh yeah, I've been looking for one and stuff." Well, that's cool. And she walked off, and then I looked at my mom and I was like, I remember because my aunt from Puerto Rico has sent us like a whole bunch of lanyards and a whole bunch of Puerto Rico things or whatever. I said, "Hey, Mom, can I give this to her?" And she was like, "You want to give it?" I was like, "Yeah, Mom, I got some more at home or whatever. And if she can't find one, I got one here. Like, I'll just give it to her."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, well, go find." So I ran through the supermarket and I found the lady and then I gave it to her and stuff. And then the lady came up to my mom and I guess she was talking to my mom and they exchanged information. And then a couple weeks later, my mom was like, "Freddie, go outside." I was like, "Well, actually, yeah, go outside." All right, so I go outside and I sit on the porch and I grew up on Con Ave, man, and this was like way before the whole gentrification thing, and they made it all nice and shiny and stuff. And you know who knows from your block, and this car pulled up. It's really nice, like SUV, and I'm like, who is like this? Ain't right? Like, ain't nobody. Listen, this ain't nobody around here. Yeah. And this lady got out, and it was a lady from the supermarket, and she went to the back of the trunk, and she popped open the trunk, she pulled out a bike.
Wow.
And she was like, we was going through this and we was going through our garage and stuff, and we was getting ready. I mean, I thought about you when I seen the bike, and if you didn't have one here, it was a nice mountain bike, man.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And again, we shouldn't do things because we want something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you just do nice things, and like you said, nice things will happen. I know it's a simplified version of karma. I'm gonna get you the name of the rest of that book to really understand the more than depth to it, because I'm learning more and more about it. But it's just that, man. Just treat people with love and kindness, man, and you will leave an impact forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. But that's my show, man, and I want to thank you so much, man, for sitting down and chat with me. It was a very, very conversation. I love your vibe, and I'm gonna hold you to that Tina song, man, because I want to hear that now.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's gonna come out, man. I'm definitely gonna put that one out eventually, for sure. Thanks for having me, man.
Well, absolutely, man. And as I always say, everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, your big brother loves you. Stay blessed, everybody.